Hello, and welcome to the Unstuck Club. It feels like we haven't done it for a while. That is because there's been quite a bit going on in the background. So, how are you, Di?
Yeah, I'm good. I agree. There has been a lot going on, and it just feels like the days just blur into one another. How did we get to like almost the end of August? I don't even feel like I've come to grips with
Yeah,
August.
yeah, completely. I know. And now we're nearly into September, and then we head to that energy starts to dip where everyone starts to get ready for the end of the year and winding down, and what does next year hold, and what does it look like, and all of that kind of stuff is about to begin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that for so many people, this year has not panned out the way so many thought that it would. But then again, when you think of it's the 9 year of endings and completion, and it's interesting that what you and I are going to talk about is exactly that.
Yeah.
But people are really being challenged to let go of what doesn't serve or doesn't resonate any longer.
Yeah, with them anymore. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on that note, you had a really bold conversation or message that you needed to get through to me, right?
Yeah, I mean it's been really hard, and I think it's a good test of our friendship that I finally plucked up enough courage to send you the voice note. Jodine and I do a lot of voice noting together to just keep connected. And we were meant to record the previous episode of the podcast, and then for various reasons it didn't happen. And then it was just, I also kept putting it off. And it finally admitted to myself, like, I'm really not feeling this podcast any longer. And then took about another few days to pluck up the courage to send you a voice note going, I'm really sorry, Joe, but I feel like the podcast in its current format has come to an end. And your reply was, dunno.
Yeah. So my reply was, I also definitely was feeling like we got to the point where we had discussed all the things, and I was thinking such a similar thing, to have a conversation with you and say, where is this going? What are the next steps when it comes to both of us? We definitely created the Unstuck Club because both of us lacked a degree of bravery and direction, right?
Yeah.
So to come together and get each other unstuck has been something that maybe was an undercurrent that we didn't actually realize. But it's your message is a beautiful testament to saying you're feeling unstuck, right? And you want to explore different things. You want to expand and you want to explore different things. And this is what's supposed to happen, is that either you grow with something or you grow to a point where something no longer feels aligned, and then you move on to whatever helps you grow to the next stage and the next phase.
I think that's such a beautiful way of putting it, because I mean, when you and we had spoken about doing a podcast for a long time before we actually said January 2024 we're doing the first episode. No fancy equipment, no studio, just I think we started on Zoom. I can't remember if we came straight to stream, whatever we did.
Yeah.
And we also, I think the big thing with Unstuck Club is we don't script it. We don't sit down beforehand and work out what we're going to say. It literally has been as our lives have unfolded, or we've seen the struggle with our clients, what they're going through. So you hit the nail on the head. It absolutely got us unstuck. I know a lot of people look at you and I and think, we've got our shit together and we're so confident and we're so this, and we're not. We
keep work in progress.
kept ourselves small, undersell ourselves all of the time. So the Unstuck Club and the work we did together, the webinars, the little courses that we ran, helped us to grow. Unstuck Club took us a step further. But now my feeling was that you and I both have to, probably still together at some point, but we now have to start finding our own paths. And the Unstuck Club in this format was now keeping us stuck.
Absolutely.
That it had served its purpose beautifully. I love the guests, love the discussions, love the new awarenesses that I certainly have had. But it's like, it's done. It's that inner knowing that it's done. And now it's time for the next chapter or level to unfold for both of us. So, sadly, this is the last episode
in this, definitely in this format, because it gave me an opportunity to think and to see what I wanted to do and what I have been doing, because I have launched into creating a lot more content lately and like really just finding my voice. It took quite a while for me to find my voice, which I'm thrilled that I have. And so what I am doing, my decision has been to turn my entire YouTube channel into a podcast. So my YouTube channel will become a podcast. And it actually stemmed from the podcasts that I listen to. Like some of the people who I listen to, their YouTube channel is the podcast. And then there are different topics and different, different content segments in that podcast. So it is my intention to keep the Unstuck Club going as a segment in my podcast. And what I would really love to do is to carry on interviewing people who have gotten unstuck.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people, there are beautiful stories to be told. Along my travels, I meet so many people. I have my students who've done brave things and clients who've done brave things. And but it's definitely, your decision has shifted. I mean, I'm shifting my entire focus of YouTube, and I'm completely like recreating that channel, which is most probably something that I just wouldn't have done, if the shift in and the change in dynamic hadn't come up. And I think that's also so important. You and I jump straight into it is what it is, like where to from here. We don't immediately we go, how's this going to serve me? What do I need to change? How do I benefit from it? What do I do that makes this better, makes this an opportunity instead of an obstacle, which is so important, because everything, depending on how you look at it, everything has the potential to be an opportunity. Everything.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the one thing I want to say about this whole, how this is unfolded, is there wasn't anything that happened with the podcast. It didn't suddenly start deteriorating, or we didn't have anything to talk about. It was a feeling. And I think it's really important for anyone listening, if you have that little, just that nudge, like this isn't working. You can't put your finger on it, maybe. It's not the time to know what. You just know that either it's not working, or everything comes to an end. I mean, everything is a cycle.
Yeah.
And, it's the same with films. A film comes out and it's amazing, and then they have the sequel, and then they have another sequel, and eventually the people are going, enough with the sequels. Now you're just scrabbling for storylines. When it's done, it's done. TV series, when it's done, they're just about to do the last film of Downton Abbey ever. I'm devastated. I love Downton Abbey, but also it's like it's done. And I really want to put that message out there for people. If you're feeling whatever it is, a friendship, a relationship, a business, sometimes they are hard decisions.
Yeah.
And there may be tough consequences and actions you have to take. But that relief when you messaged me back and said, I'm feeling absolutely the same way. I was like, oh, thank goodness she's not cross with me.
No, absolutely. It's so important to just be able to have these brave conversations, because otherwise you get stuck in it, and then if we had just carried on, we just play with the energy, and it has such a good energy.
Yeah.
And people, the only reason why it wouldn't have flown this way is if we weren't able to be honest with each other, which is a really important aspect of any kind of relationship or partnership or dynamic, is you have got to be able to be so completely honest with each other. And the solid friendships and the solid relationships, the solid partnerships don't go anywhere. They absolutely don't go anywhere. Even though you and I are saying, I definitely know that you want to so passionately work on your own thing and bring your own, voice out and your own podcast to life and all that kind of stuff, and me carry on with mine. There's no concern that there's ever going to be any, breakdown of friendship, because this is not gluing us together.
No, it's not. And
No.
and I know that for myself, I'm really good at attaching myself to other people. I love collaborations. They're my thing. But I also know there is work that I have to do on my own, the grief work. I'm not saying I'll do an actual podcast on grief, because there are a lot. Everyone is doing a podcast now. But yes, to do videos that can support people. We had our first anxiety workshop last Saturday, and it was amazing. We're doing another one in October here in the Lowveld, and I'm looking now at translating it online for people. I mean, obviously not walking labyrinths and sound journeys, but there is still a lot I can do in terms of processes and tools and everything online.
Yeah.
So this podcast, I think, has helped build my confidence to put my work out there and use my own voice without always having a partner in crime, which, as I say, that's my default. I love it. I love collaborating. But a part of it is also that I can push that person to the fore if I'm not feeling particularly brave.
Yeah,
so and I just want to say thank you to you, Joe, because the conversations we've had and the way this has just flowed so beautifully has been it's been so special. And I mean, the episodes are still there. It's not like they're going anywhere. Still around.
They absolutely aren't. They absolutely aren't. And on my side, if you're watching, then that means that you are in my channel already, and just keep following and keep connecting. I'm doing some really exciting content. I'm actually starting to create the things that I'm looking for that I haven't been able to find, and I'm also really so determined to break all of these manifestation myths and get people to start to sift through what is the truth, what is your truth, who do you really want to be following, what information is real out there, and what information is just content. I mean, the number of posts that are being shared on my timeline from people who are in my eyes, spiritually connected and savvy and international, and they are sharing posts, and you can see from a mile away that it's AI written, like just a mile away.
Okay.
And people who are now, whose content I really appreciated so much. And again, you can just see that it's AI written, and it's not what it's there for. I want to start talking more about how the astrologically and through the numerology and everything, we are moving into a world that does have AI in it, but how to use it properly, and how it's creating this fake impression of people who have more knowledge than they have.
Yeah. That is the downside of it. I mean, people are churning out books. Everyone is now a published author because AI can write a book for you in a matter of minutes, literally.
Absolutely. So my thing is just this real authenticity. Like, take your time, get to know me. Watch the content that I put out. See that my language hasn't changed in all this time. AI is a great research tool and resource tool. It absolutely is. I no longer Google at all in any way, shape, or form. I only ask AI any question, chat any question that I want to, but it by no means, takes over the way that I teach or guide, and it's something that's becoming more and more important to be extremely, extremely important to me. Yeah.
So we will see where the road takes us.
Absolutely. And along the way, opportunities for us to do certain things together. We collaborate beautifully along the line. And in both respects, if anyone needs us in either way, we are both there. You know what you are so good at. I know what I'm so good at, and we also swap and refer each other, as we go along all the time.
We will indeed. So watch. Maybe not watch this specific space, but watch our spaces. Because
keep in touch. Follow us and see what.
This is not the end. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. And with that, we wish everyone the bravery to get unstuck from whatever you may be sitting in, even if it started off as something absolutely great and so filled with potential, and now it just has a different narrative. Trust yourself and don't just stick to it because it was a commitment that you made somewhere along the line. Yeah. And with that, we say goodbye.
Bye. Take care, everybody.
Take care.